Hi, it's Sid here from Border Archery. Um, I'd like to go through a bit of a thought, a bit of a philosophy, a bit of an idea with you guys, um, and it tries to explain what a fast bow is. It was a presentation I did in Germany. Um, let's make an analogy, and I get accused of making analogies with cars, so let's not do it. Um, Jumping, jumping into water, jumping from 1 meter. The water's soft, it's good fun. Um, Jumping into the water from 10 meters, make sure you close your legs. Yeah, it's going to be a bit stingy. And jumping from 100 meters, that's a problem. That's a very big problem. Um, but in that conversation, you are a constant, the water is a constant, so what makes the distance the problem? The problem is the landing, created by the speed generated from the fall. And when you look further into it, it's not actually the fall that causes the problem, it's the stop. So the faster you go, the harder the stop is, the harder the material that you land into becomes. But you can slow that whole process down by making the water softer, i.e. by throwing a big rock in first or putting bubbles up from underneath, so that when you hit the water, you're hitting less water and you're hitting half bubbles, half air. And that idea means that you slow down slower. It works. So when you look at the summary of that kind of analogy, is speed causes a problem, but the problem can be diminished by lessening the impact. So the problem that fast bows have is that they're fast. And it's not necessarily the fast that's the problem, it's also the stop of closure. So when you look at that, you start to realise that there might actually be a maximum speed that a bow can do with a certain type of string under a certain construction. And that, we think, for bow longevity is about 210, 215 feet per second. So imagine imagine the idea that I was to say that you could probably go for 220, maybe 225 feet per second, but you'd probably have to go with a Dacron string to make the impact less. So what if I was to say that it doesn't matter what the bow construction is, it doesn't matter what the limb design is, it doesn't matter what the string type is, or what the arrow mass is, or what the user draw length is, or what the poundage of the bow is, 210, 215 feet per second is about your reliable maximum. End of. Go above that, you're likely to suffer from reduced bow life. Quite a big thought, isn't it? So if you've got really high energy limbs, you're still capped at 210, 215 feet per second. And there's a bit of a reason for that. And it's kind of part of what I said a minute ago. So then you start to question, why would you ever want a fast bow? Well, a fast bow can get to 210, 215 feet per second with a heavier arrow weight without having more poundage on your fingers. It can do it with a heavier, more robust arrow rather than a soda straw, a drinks straw, that's just going to crumple on impact on anything. If you've only got a 24-inch draw length, you're more likely to be able to attain those kinds of speeds. If you only shoot 32, 30 pounds, 27 pounds, again, you can get closer to those speeds. If you're a hunter, you can achieve much better speeds with that heavy arrow that you want to use. So there's plenty of really, really good advantages as to why a bow can be fast. But that 210, 215 feet per second is really not what you want to be doing, or above it. And then along comes a guy on the internet that claims he's been doing 250 feet per second with his 45-inch draw length, with his 2 grains per pound arrow, with his 140 pounds in his fingers. A lot of these guys are either manufacturers, friends of manufacturers, who are getting some sort of financial support in terms of replacement bows if the bow should break. So careful with them. Yeah. Now, before we get into the typical internet level conversations, yes, there are guys out there that speed and do horrendous speeds on public roads. Yes, they don't have accidents. Statistically, they're more likely to have an accident, and then when they do have an accident, it's really got some heavy consequences. So, yes, there are guys out there that don't have accidents. Well done. Doesn't mean to say that it's a good thing to do. So, when you look at these high-speed claims to fame, no, don't get me wrong, I can do them too. Whoopie-doo, 250 feet per second, woohoo, you know. But think about it. It's not what you want to be doing. Yeah, it's simply not what you want to be doing. It's all well and fine when you're getting manufacturer support when you break your limbs. Yeah, but if you think about falling from a very, very high cliff, what would you rather land on? Hard concrete, soft grass, water, or a big ball pit or a big catch net? Yeah. So that's the difference between these non-stretch strings. That's the difference between fast flight Dacron or the number of twists that you've got in your string, twists per inch of string. So just think about that. Maximum speeds, about 210, 215 feet per second is about as fast as you can reliably go. Imagine a fast manufacturer saying that. Yeah. The thing is, doing it with a 30-pound bow, with a 10 grain per pound arrow from a 24-inch draw, that's where the fast bows really kick in, and that's the advantage that you get. But then again, the guys that are shooting 48 pounds off their fingers with a 30-inch draw, they can achieve it with a much higher arrow weight, which means you end up with a more robust arrow and a more stable arrow in flight. 210, 215 feet per second. Two bows shooting the same speed. Yeah, the one with the heavy arrow will shoot flatter. Yeah. Okay. So, thanks for watching. Comments in the bottom. Let's talk. Let's explore this thought, and let's see what we can come up with. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.